Ooh, that's not a good one. Yes, good. All right. Hey, thanks a lot for coming on, guys. We are live on YouTube and TikTok. Um, and welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I can see some questions already popped up, and I kind of like to answer questions quickly because sometimes we get backlogs. So let me hit them real quick. I'm sure people will join on as we keep going. All right. From Chaitu Shri, how fast can an RFE get cleared in premium process? When you respond, you have another 15 days. So basically, it's 15 days on that, okay? And we see answers usually faster than that because it means it's sitting on someone's desk. They're looking at it. When your response gets in, it's just up to that person, right, or that team to kind of move through it quickly, okay? Oh, Chaitu, I see. A lot of questions here. Hi, sir. What's going on with budget reconciliation and the issue of immigration? And that's Lux Sharma too. Yeah, so this week there's a lot of talk about the transportation bill, and most of the news is about how the Democrats have stopped trying to appease, the Republicans. It's all, the politics of I don't know, whatever. They don't get along, or I have no idea. I mean, I do. It's just too much to really talk about or care about. So right now they're talking about the transportation bill. So if we see the transportation bill pass this week, and they say Thursday is the day for that, then they might all go on vacation. They're all going to take some time off. Usually August there's a recess, and that might be in the second week of August, third week of August. So in terms of reconciliation, the reconciliation bill and immigration, the problem is with the reconciliation bill and immigration is reconciliation is a conversation that's very, very big. And there are so many special interests and so many things that are tucked into that immigration is not in the forefront. So what I've had to do in the past, I've had to basically dig around within immigration worlds to see what was in the bill. And at one point we had to actually look at a bill, and some of these things are like 700, 800 pages long to find parts of it that are in there, okay? So, and that's how we found that I think fairness in high school education had not been put into the last bill, but some other immigration provisions had. So it is a little bit tricky. As of right now, I don't have something on the budget reconciliation bill. I will be looking and checking in on some of it. Okay. All right, Chaitu Shri. Looks like you went to India during your H1 process because my dad expired. Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear about your father. Do I get a change of status? I think is your question after that. So the answer to that is no. You went to India, you left the United States. If you applied for a change of status, it is no longer valid. It's no longer pending. Change of status means you're in the United States and you are changing to a different status, in the United States, or change of employer or whatever it is. So when you leave the United States, what happens is USCIS has that option of approving it and then sending it for a consular process. It just depends on what your lawyer's boxes they've checked and how they've done it, okay? So right now you're looking at something where you're not going to have much information. I'm sorry, you're not going to have much choices going on with that, okay? Okay. All right. I'm going to ask quick questions. Oh, I'm behind. Am I missing stuff? Okay. All right. So I get a 797A or 797B. Oh my Lord, you're asking me all these detailed questions about what kind of receipt you get. It's not going to matter what the letter on the receipt is, okay? What's going to matter is whether it says sent for consular processing or if it is approved change of status. But the approved change of status won't work. Your lawyer will tell you you're not in the United States. There is no approval notice that works for you, okay? So yeah, and I was thinking of automatic revalidation. You can't use that, okay? So yeah, you'll get a 797 B or C. It won't really matter. The point is you have to consular process. It doesn't matter what the piece of paper says. It doesn't matter what the title of it is. Even if they approve it, it doesn't matter. They just don't know you're not there, okay? So don't get caught up in some sort of like, oh, what document am I going to get? There's no document you're going to get, right? What you're going to get is you're going to get a notice either denying or approving that H-1B change of status, and you're not eligible for that. You're not in the United States, okay? You're outside the United States. You have to do something else, all right? All right. What are the legal side hustles to do while on H-1B? Pam Scott, 378. Pam Scott, 378. That's a great question. Legal side hustles. Do you mean going to school, or do you mean actually like kind of making some money? Making some money, it would have to be all passive based income, right? You cannot be employed, right? Key words, you cannot be employed, right? So driving an Uber, you know, even if the state you're in doesn't classify you as an employee, that's actually working, doing work and getting paid for it. So, I mean, it's very hard to kind of to sort of define that. But the truth is, in H-1B, look at it this way: it gives you permission to live and work in the United States for a employer. If you do any work, that means activity that results in remuneration. That I mean, there's probably a better IRS definition than I just gave you, but if you do any work, that's not legal. That doesn't work. Passive works. You buy a house, you rent it out, that works. You purchase stocks, you make money off of that, that works. Cryptocurrencies, you trade currencies in crypto markets, that works, because those are income you get from the, you know, you buy your Bitcoin goes up and you sell it, you've earned income, but you've done no work, right? It's the same thing as a stock market. And that's the way you got to look at it. And one way you can look at it too is, I mean, this is a little bit more I kind of advise my clients. If you can do it from outside the country, then it's totally fine, right? If you can do it from outside the country, then it's totally fine, right? So owning stocks, owning properties, being a member in a real estate investment trust, or REIT, or having anything like that, those are things you can do from outside the country. And so those are okay. But as soon as you think that you say that you're employed and you're working for an employer or doing activities that actually, you know, you do something, you get paid for it, then that's work, you know, even if it's a 1099, okay? What about a pending asylum since 2015? User 1978. That's an interesting birthday. But listen, user 19. Asylum is on last in, first out. Okay, they're doing LIFO right now instead of first in, first out. And it's really turned into a situation where they're just literally dealing with the cases that have just been filed. So a lot of my clients with those early cases have got nothing. And when I say they've got nothing, I mean we have no news, no word, no nothing. What I tell most of my clients is, this is time for you in the United States to build your life, to do what you want to do with your work permit, most likely. I don't look at it as a time where you want to say, oh, I got to get my asylum interview done. The few clients I have that want to get their asylum interview done have been like Syrian cases or cases where they have something, you know, serious enough that I believe it's a good asylum case. The idea that clients want to go do their asylum filing, most oftentimes with good attorneys are going to tell you, hey, your case isn't that great, or it's sort of mid-range, it's a gamble. Any 50-50 case to me is not great, okay? And a lot of asylum cases are 50-50, okay? I applied, all right, I got Harmon IVV. Hey, Harmon IVV. I applied for AOS via Marriage USC. Fantastic. Can I expedite EAD, AP to visit Canada in order to attend my Canadian citizenship? No, you can't. No, you can't. Oh, well, maybe you can. All right, let me just backtrack on that really fast. Okay, so an expedited advance parole is possible, okay? And we do them here. An expedited advance parole is essentially you've got your case filed, you've done your biometrics. If you've got both of those things going, then you can try to set an info pass to expedite your advance parole. You probably cannot tell the reason as I want to get my Canadian citizenship. It's highly likely that's not going to work for you, okay? So I would tell you that there's a possibility of it expediting an advanced parole travel, but it fits within the USCIS confines of like death in the family, serious economic hardship, some of these very specific things that relate to hardship that USCIS has, okay? All right, Zach Nagri. Hi, Zach Nagri. My embassy sent an NOS to State Department. Notice, oh, what? What's that? May 7th, they didn't update on website. No answer to email, no phone. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know what your question is, but if an embassy has sent a document to State Department, you should be expecting a long wait. In my experience, long waits of trying to get whatever it is they want, either to revoke something or investigate something or to look at something. When you say your embassy sent it, the question really is USCIS sent it. If USCIS sent it or the consular official sent it as part of USCIS and they don't like what they see, then they're going to have to see that. I'd like a little more detail on that to answer that question, okay? All right, Cyclava 18, Cap H-1B revoked. Oof, bummer. Current I-797 still active. Is that a problem? What? I mean, if something's revoked, you don't have an H-1B, right? I mean, let's not get confused here. You got to notice they revoked it. That means they took back whatever you had. That's the end of it. That's a notice by immigration. Immigration operates on the last action rule. Last action rule is the last action that they've taken usually applies and is valid. So even though they revoked it, don't think that the document, because it has all these dates on it, it still lasts, right? Talk to your attorney about that. You might be in some trouble. I like your French beard. Oh, thanks, Pentlint. You guys are too nice, man. Anil Dandamundi. Hi, second lottery. Oh, you're asking again, second lottery. Anil, I don't have any second lottery information. At this point, it is a hold on to your seat. We're in for a wild ride because nobody knows what's happening with that second lottery, okay? I mean, it's not active news yet. All right, I got a question from YouTube from Hope Nyavor. What can you do if your emergency appointment for F1 visa has been approved, but still can't find an appointment date on the portal? PS, I've emailed consular, so I haven't received a feedback. Okay, Hope, this is a very big deal. We're having some problems with this right now, and we're actually trying to call some consulates for some of our clients to get in. The information that we're getting from the consulates is very, very confusing. So, for example, Brazil sent us a notice yesterday that said, if your emergency reason to enter the United States is within 10 days of an appointment date, then you can apply. It didn't make any sense, right? I guess you have to have an emergency, and then you have to look at the appointment, and then say your emergency is 10 days later. It was totally crazy. Other consulates have told us that they're closed except for life or death cases. So that was the consulate in, oh my, isn't that Denmark? Yeah, Denmark. So in Copenhagen, yesterday told us that they're closed. They're open from July 19th to August 20th for life and death only. And then they're open again from August 30th to September 11th. It's very crazy. And in that same announcement, they said no F, M, or J visas can apply. Okay. So wherever you are dealing with, you do have to take the first appointment you can. That is what I would suggest. Now, what we're doing for clients is a little bit different process. We're filing either an NIE exception to get an appointment, but it depends on what consulate you're in, if it's travel ban related or not. It's very confusing. Every case is different. So to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, we have an H-1B approval, and the first date in Brazil is April 2022. And we got a travel ban out of Brazil. We're doing some magic for that client that I don't know what's going to happen, okay? Call those consulates. It's probably your best choice. And they don't have an 800 number. You got to call a local number. And if your emergency appointment for F1 has been approved, basically what they're saying to you is, oh, you get an appointment while others don't. And you better grab that first appointment and then fight over whatever's next, okay? Tough case you got there, Hope Nyavor. I hear you on that. Okay. Lots of questions here. Let's get to it. Does South African embassy work? It does. They work. Oh, but there's some civil unrest there, so it'll depend on the local rules. They'll say what works and what doesn't work. Okay. All right. Is it okay? This is from Isra Kumar. Isaran Kumar. Is it okay to change employer when OPT is expired and STEM OPT is pending? That's a real tough one because STEM OPT has a very specific application process. And I mean very, very specific. Your employer has to sign it. They have to put in details about what they're doing and how they're doing it. So I think you need to get your STEM OPT approved and then file a new STEM OPT employer case through your school. Ask your DSO saying, hey, I got a new employer, I want to change, and then go for it that way. That's kind of the nonsense nuts you're dealing with right now. Hi, Pandaria. Oh my gosh, you're so nice, Pandaria06. Thank you so much for the weights and stuff. I mean, it might have been some heavy lifting, maybe. You guys are nice, man. You guys are the best. Love you. All right, Zach Nagare. It was 2-year home country waiver. NOS sent by my embassy to State Department. Well, I mean, 2-year home country waiver is going to mean there's some sort of violation of some sort. J1 is a 1-year waiver, so I'm confused about that. You really should consult somebody on it, okay? Because that sounds like much more detailed fact-based case, okay? Meaning what you filed, what your violation they're alleging is, and how you would respond to it, okay? Some attorneys might handle it in a phone call. Most likely they want to see the papers, okay? With us, we won't do it in a phone call. That's something I will listen to you and say, well, show me everything. And then we would probably charge a fee for that. It just takes time to get to the bottom of some of these things. And so we can't just give it away and just, spend hours working on clients like, oh, we'll do this. Okay, so that's what I need you to know, Zach Nagri, because that doesn't sound so good, all right? Chai Shri, hi, sir, I came back to USA. I'm F1, so still change of status is not happening. God, that's a real... All right, so your problem is that on your I-129, they list your I-94 and the dates on it. And here's what I've had happen. I've had clients get dinged and told you left the United States because they figured out it's so easy they can just type in your information and their system might pop up and tell them departure re-entry. In which case they would just immediately end your case if it's only, or they'd approve it for consular processing. The other thing is they would, sometimes they approve it. Okay, so fingers crossed that they approve it, and then you have a whole different problem on your hands. If they did, I would send you to Canada and back again, so you get automatic revalidation or something like that. Okay, so you have a kind of a difficult case there. Okay, Chaitushri, because you're relying on luck to get approved because it's a technical violation. You can't have a change of status when you're gone. The H-1B's change of status sometimes work because of the whole October date and you're gone. And we kind of have argued before, left and re-entered prior to October. So, I mean, there's something to fight about there. I'm just digging back in the memory here. I haven't had this problem for a little while, okay? And but I've done something of that sort before where we just argued something, okay? All right. Herb Heal Humanity followed us. Hey, thank you for following. You're very kind. Alex193, how much is processing fees? I don't know, Alex. I can sell it later, right? What? How much is processing fees? I can sell it later, right? I want to apply EB5 for my brother. I'm curious with 1 million invest, let's say buying a hotel. Oh, okay, yeah. So your question went kind of backwards. So processing fees on an EB5, honestly, I don't follow any processing fees, but as far as I recall, it's something in the range of, $1,800 or $2,500 for the filing fee. Owning an investment for the EB5 exists in two worlds. It exists in the real world that you are in, where you own a portion of something, or you own all of something, and then it exists in the immigration world. And your problem becomes, if you do sell an interest or you sell the actual EB5 investment, you no longer have the business that employs 10 people, and you're actually technically no longer valid for an EB5. Now, I've had a lot of people go through this process, and a lot of times we've ended up in cases where they just go on and on and on, and they leave it alone. They simply don't answer and don't do anything. I had an audit where they showed up at an employer on an EB5, and I got called to run over there, drive over there, and then the guy had left. We scheduled time for him to come back. And, we told him the truth that we'd had the 10 employees. We'd gone down, gone back up again. We just gave him all the information. He literally was just happy that we showed him everything. He never responded. My client actually ended up selling the business. He left the country. We did other things we can do. But Alex, yeah, you can sell it, but these are big considerations. And you should always think of EB5 investments in two ways. What would I do in the worst case scenario as an investor? Okay, what would I do? How would I deal with this? How would I handle this? What do I look at? What's your threshold? Where's your sell threshold? There's a lot of advice that has to happen that's outside of me. It's about you and what you do and what you want to do. Because when it comes to me, it's just going to be, no, this is immigration. If you sell it, we lose the green card. It's simple. I mean, can you reinvest it and buy something else? Sure. Can you start a new investment and try to use that as a new advantage or a new angle? Sure, you can do that too. But sadly, you know, you might end up in a reboot or a redo, or we have to refile, all sorts of things your attorney's going to be stuck with. And those are things that'll cost you money. I mean, fees, time, delays as well. Okay. EB5, the big deal with the EB5 is the delay and the fact that you're stuck with that investment until that case is finally approved. Okay. You want to apply for your brother if you're buying a hotel. Yeah, I mean, those all work, but buying a hotel isn't enough. You have to create 10 new jobs, remember. Okay. All right, Pam Scott 378. Can H4s pursue masters in USA? The dependent doesn't have I-140 approved yet. Oh, I just had this phone call this morning. Yeah, sure. I mean, H4 going to school is not dependent on the EAD. All right, issue 93. I posted another video. It's funny. Watch it. All right, at Mint Coder. All right. Oh, you're talking to Mint Coder, not me? All right, thanks though. Mint Coder. Any comments on HR 36848? No, but we're gonna write that down and take a look at it. HR 3648, guys. The Eagle Act. Maybe you can shoot me over a little blurb right now so I can look at the Eagle Act. I hope it's a good one. All right, Psycholva 18. Can H1B filed in 2019 was revoked in 2021? Amendment filed in 2020 is still active. Is that a problem? Well, the revocation is your problem. You're done. Mystic Wanderer followed host. Hey, thanks a lot. Tupelo B followed. Hey, thank you. Rook Sardi. Hello, sir. Hello. How you doing there, ma'am? Sulliva Sharma 15. What is causing an issue? I don't know. Please tell me more about that. Oh, and it's now October. We're still not getting my EAD. Yeah. Oh, your question's backwards. So, guys, sometimes my chat is, my team's already telling me my chat's kind of a mess. So sometimes the chat goes in backwards from what you're saying. So Silva Sharma said, my 765 for family-based green card passed processing time. It was filed on September 20th. It is now October. I mean, the date that they're handling, but still not getting my EAD. What is causing an issue? So always with EADs is, have you done your biometrics, right? Have you done your biometrics or not? If you've done your biometrics, that's always the first step. The next thing is processing times. And if you're beyond the processing time, you can go ask your attorney to call immigration to check on what's happening with that case. You can also check with an ombudsman or an HR, your representative from Congress. EADs are just a mess. I think we know that. In this chat, we talk about it all the time, that EADs are just going and going and going, and no one knows what's happening. But at this point, the EADs are they are what they are. And I would have somebody call to see what you can do, okay? Because it's not always absolutely clear what happens. All right, Mohsin Karin. I-140 applied in 2019, December. Hasn't been approved yet. Oof. Please advise. So we're at 2019, December. So we've got a year and 7 months. That's a very long, 19 months is a very long time. You have to do inquiries and see what's going on with that. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. And I would assume that it's in front of somebody and something's happened. Or, you know, you might know better than me. You know, if that perm is kind of hinky or got something going on with it, or it's not good, or that employer has had prior problems or other issues, or double file, triple file cases in the same position. I mean, you want to kind of know a bit more when you have big delays, because it's not always immigration's fault, right? I mean, I know we like to act that way. I know we like to sort of present that as the norm, but sometimes it's a client's fault or the employer's fault. And some employers have done some things that aren't good. And I've had some cases very recently, one of the very few, you know, I won every perm case, but when I get to the I-140 and 485, I've had some problems, and those have been employer-based problems where we've had some very like deep RFEs and NOIDs about ownership issues, viability of the company, work location, things like that, okay? So you might want to look at that and be ready for an RFE on something like that. Vice 137, did I represent my B2 visa if I filed adjustment of status after 100 days of entry? No, you didn't. 90 days, what is that? Sia 910, my wife is applying for H4 visa. Consulate gave her 221G, asking for knee-related documents. What should it ended? Okay. You know, let me look at what we got. We had a case like that recently. But, you know, bottom line is on some of those, it's just, you know, the problem with the 221G is many times at consulates, it's about whether it's ties to the home country or something like that. Now with an H4 with dual intent, you know, it shouldn't have that, okay? And I'm just looking at my chat. Yeah. No, I was asking my assistant if she had info on the 221Gs that we filed recently. Look, if somebody has a 221G and the office says you're not eligible on an H4, that seems pretty straightforward. That means get the original approval notice from the H1B, get your marriage certificate, present all your documents, get originals if they want it, and that should be what you present. I mean, 221G, ties to home country, that's usually 222G. Not eligible for the visa doesn't make a lot of sense, except you may not have provided the documents that they wanted, the original officials, for example, a 797. All right, Harmon, didn't I just answer your question, Harmon? I think I did, my man. I did check your question above. Thank you for writing again and not spamming. I appreciate that a lot. And I answered your question specifically, Harmon. Okay. I answered your question specifically about Canada and citizenship and expediting an EAD AP. Eagle Act, we got that. Cap revoked. The revocation stands. All right, I'm going back through. Harmon, I did check your question. I answered it. Hi, watching from Vice 137. Woohoo! Vermont, great state. What about asylum cases pending 2015? I answered that user 1978. Tamerlatar, and the answer is they're pending and they're doing LIFO, last in, first out. Tamerlatar, any update for asylum case from 5 years ago? What about okay, so the asylum cases are on the last in, first out right now. That process changes. The truth is, people who want to expedite asylum cases can do it if they really, really want to. You know, get your attorney. Start pushing to get an interview. They'll do it for you. They will. I mean, I've had cases where we push for interviews. I've had a second interview once on a Chinese case. Great couple, really nice couple. And they had really, really good evidence about something that happened to them. And we actually got denied on an interview. We forced a second interview and went back and got approved. It happens, you know? If you want to do that, you can. But keep in mind that you should be working with an attorney on those things, all right? Hi, Tamerlader. Thank you for saying hello. I checked you. I answered your question. And I've answered all the questions that you guys have about asylum pending, okay? All right, more questions piling up here, guys. I actually really like doing these lives. Let me see if I can get... Wow, there's a lot of... Jesus, a lot of questions. Okay, we got a YouTube comment from M. Yassin. Can I travel with travel permit without getting H-1B stamped and still come back to U.S.? So the answer to that, Yassin, is yeah. So you have an H-1B. Okay. So when you travel on a travel permit, which is a permission for advanced parole or advanced permission to re-enter, when you exit and return, you actually change the status you're in. You end up being in the status called advanced parole, okay? And it's a paroled-in status. So that is the consideration you should have. Now, it could mean nothing to you. You could say, no big deal, I'll still be paroled. I have a work permit, I'm fine. But some people, you know, if you have a shaky case, you don't want to do that. Because if your adjustment is denied, you're now in a status that doesn't exist any longer, while the H-1B is an actual legit, real status, okay? So I would talk to an attorney and don't discount automatic revalidation, okay? Talk to an attorney about doing that. You can go to Canada, get automatic revalidated, and I just gave you some free, really, really good advice, all right? All right, yeah, that's from M. Yassin. Automatic revalidation might be something you want to do, all right? You should do it. Pam Scott, 378. You should be one on my advising team, Pam Scott. Tell me what I should do. Oh my God, a bunch of comments that scrolled up really fast. So I'm going to try and catch up, everybody. How to terminate 2007 removal proceedings. Okay, so if you're in removal proceedings from 2007, that means you have an order of removal, or they're admin closed, or you're in court right now. If you're in court right now, try to get an admin closure. If you have a deportation order, meaning the removal order, and it's final, get a motion to reopen or a joint motion to reopen, JMTR. The policy has just started warming up for that, and we've got some cases approved. Removal cases are very, very hard, and you need to talk to somebody. You don't just go and reopen a case. You actually have to have relief available to you to make that case worthwhile. So I would really be careful about that. You know, that is not something you should do on your own. You should have a lawyer for that one. All right. Admanda 2002. Will my son get F1 student visa? When? When? I'm on pending asylum. Please advise me. If your son is inside the United States and he's filed for a change of status, it's taking 13 months to change from any status to F1. 13 plus months. If your son is outside the United States, it's a consular issue you have to work on. If you're on asylum pending, meaning you filed an asylum case, that could be a negative factor in his F1 if he's at a consulate. Got a lot of issues there, Admanda 2002. Not the kind of case where I would just say yes to. I would have a lot of questions and want to know more, and basically advise you on some middle ground that may come, but there's many outcomes that are possible there. Rish Rai 49. All right, your views on EB1 green card approval for October 20th application, PD November 2018, biomedical inter-filing done. Wow, that's a good one, Richie. My opinion. So an EB1 is always going to be super specific. It's just going to be about the details. And details really, really matter, specifically when it comes to like what it is with the international executive, the 1 year, are you running in the office, are you actually an executive or not? And they do apply a little bit different standard from the L1A. So my opinion would be, it's in those details that you have. But you filed it a long time ago, you should be getting an answer very soon. It would matter to me how big the company is in terms of its gross and net, and also its staffing inside the United States, and what your middle tier of management looks like below the executive level. Super, super important stuff, okay? I would tell you to that's really, really important. The fact that it's been pending forever and ever and it's about ready to get approved would just be the timing on it. I don't have a timeline for you that's going to work really, really well, okay? All right, Nepali TikTok official. Hello, any new updates, or will there be an overstayed, or will there be on overstayed visas? Hi, Nepali TikTok official. Thanks for following or checking in on us. There is no update right now, except that the word I'm getting from a lot of outside of my office here, from friends and whatnot, is that it's a bit, they're being a bit lenient on these filings. Now, overstay is not working, but if you're overstayed and you file and you say I forgot to file, it's better than not filing at all. I mean, that's kind of where I would put these things, okay? Overstay is literally a function of how long. You file it 1 day late, very different than 2 years late, or 6 months, or 1 month. The days, the time matter. Again, you talk to an attorney. It's a sliding scale. If you've overstayed, it's highly likely that you have a big problem and your only option will be an IR case, right? Because IRs wipe away unlawful presence. But if you've overstayed and you've overstayed more than 6 months, and you've got a bar, a 212A9 bar. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that you need to know about overstay, and most overstays just stay in the country so that you can try something else, but you're no longer eligible for a non-immigrant visa. All right. Thank you, Nepali. You asked the same question, and I got it, right? Tusker42, I'm H1B, EB2 filed in 2016. Can I buy a Chick-fil-A Dunkin' Donuts franchise shop instead of waiting? Yes. Yes, 22022. Can I change my country, South Africa to Ethiopia? Will it affect the case? No. You can change your country depending on where you were born and your spouse were born, called cross-chargeability. That's another little secret. You can do that. I would suggest not doing that. If you're doing it for a consular process, then you just need to move it to a different consulate. I mean, meaning South Africa's having problems and you want to be in Ethiopia, that's fine. But in terms of the category you're in the rest of the world category. So in that sense, it doesn't make any difference. But changing your country to Ethiopia, you can do, but that's also hard, right? You have to refile or amend and ask to send to a new consulate. Kind of tough, okay? Meaning paperwork tough, and time tough, and waste of time because you're sitting and waiting without a response, okay? That's the problem I think you're going to have with that. My wife applied for H4. She's given 221G, asking for NIE documents. What should it be? It should be NIE documents. Hire someone to do an NIE or figure it out yourself. I mean, I'm not going to teach you how to do that. But an NIE is about the industry and how it works and what you write. We write these up. We make something and make an argument. And I think ours are really strong, actually. Now, the NIE documents will always be very detailed and case specific. Watch our video on the NIE that Ida did. Ida did a good video talking about what she does on NIEs and what these industries are and what she says. If that's what you want, go check out Ida's videos on our gig YouTube page. And she explains how she does NIEs and what she does, and she really drives those, okay? All right, CH910, my wife applied for H4 given 221G. Yep, just talked about that. Pam Scott 378. You should do a TikTok dance. Yeah, Pam, I am just gonna go and follow Pam. Okay. Michael Scott. In some parallel with Michael Scott, Mary Pam Beasley. Oh, you're so awesome. My favorite show. Like I watch it all the time. So Pam Scott, let me just tell you that literally my son will quote me lines from The Office that I just have not I don't remember. You know, like, oh, remember when Michael said this? Blah 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 blah. It's so funny. Okay. What is the next Visa bulletin move beyond December 2019 for EB3? No. In October, we're looking for changes. Hey, Nepali, I answered your questions. Rita Shah, 0404. Apale on F2B, an update on September 2020. So when Bombay Embassy call for interview. Yeah, a lot going on there. The Bombay Embassy calling you for an interview is going to be dependent on conditions at the time. And family second preference, unmarried son or daughter of a resident is lower on the list, man. The priority dates are for IRs first and family first. So you're going to be low down on the list. They might not call you for a little while. It might be a while, okay? EB2 to Ganga DB3, filed in October 2021. I-140 is still pending. Is it good to do a premium? Generally, I push for premiums I mean, it costs you money, you know, that's your money. But what you get out of it is you get the I-140 approval for the extension on the H-1B, and that's the only reason to do that, right? If that's what you want to do, because you want to get AC-21 extensions out of your 6 years, then of course do it. But if it's simply you're being anxious and nervous and waiting, I mean, it's going to come when it's going to come. If it doesn't really matter, I don't know. Your priority date. Yeah, I don't know what your PD is. Your PD might matter. It might matter in the sense if you also want to move. If your I-45 has been pending for 180 days, then you need an I-140 approval to have the 45 pending for 180 days and work it out. Oh, Pavan. Hey, Pavan. 980. You always say hello. Thank you. Jai Hind 274. Hey, sir. Please tell me how long it take time on 45Ks to get work permit after biometrics in Vermont. Biometrics in Vermont, work permits are anywhere in 6 months to a year. But usually biometrics is a benchmark where you can think it's going to be coming. It's just that you're behind a lot of people. The whole country's waiting for biometrics. Yaz 2202. Can I change country from South Africa for my husband's I-130? Yeah, you do it through the NVC. Yes, NVC. Will my son get a student visa? Nope, I already talked about that. I got annoyed for my asylum case. I submit via lawyer, but AO didn't receive it. Ugh! Ah! Oh my God. Hopefully you still have time. Resubmit it again. I'd rather submit something twice than to not receive it at all. Automatic denial for not receiving a response. All right, guys. I've answered almost all these questions. And Virukal, I don't think you're going to be in a problem, but it's the metropolitan statistical area. I see your question about your H-1B company moving, and Virukal, and basically that 1 mile away is small, and I've had that with my clients. It's going to be based upon your LCA and what the metropolitan statistical area is, but generally, no, you should be okay. No amendment needed. Spencer, I'm waiting for my citizenship still last year. Do you know why they're late in response? They're just not nice. They're just horrible. Citizenship should be going at about a 5-month pace, but they're taking a while. Some cases go faster than others. Can I legally cross border every day? Is it legal to work in the US and still be legal in Canada on ST study permit? No. I'm what? You can cross the border every day. Oh God. So commuting workers for Mexico and Canada have very specific rules, and they depend on your B1, B2 visa. There's a B1, B2 commuter visa, which allows individuals to live on the other side of the Mexican border, come inside and work and go back. So, I mean, there's something there you're going to have to look at. And I'm digging deep in the memory on that one. It's there, but you have to figure it out. If you're Canadian, it's probably the similar rule, but you have to look at that. And you should be okay, but check that out. All right, look into it. Pablo Maza 3. Hey, is there any negative consequence if you apply for different visa types several times? Yes, getting denied a bunch of times is bad news. It just means you're just not going to get to the United States anyway, anyhow. They're just going to see the denials and continue their bureaucratic inertia heading towards denial after denial after denial. Pablo, do not call me. You do not have a case. I'm just kidding. But you don't really have a case. If you've got multiple denials, you don't have a case, man. That's not good. I tell people you got to take a break, man. You got to take a break. Okay? Stop smoking that, whatever it is. Take a break. Come back with a better case. I'm reading your notes there, Kapil Manchada, about your stuff. H1B crossing. That's even better. It makes it a little better. I think you're fine, but honestly, that's kind of specific and serious. All right. I said no, Vice 137. It's 90-day rule under Trump. Yes, Shirabisa. Mandatory stamping home country. Yes, third country processing. One of the things they want is to see a visa from your home country. All right, guys, you're the best. Honestly, love doing this. And I see people are winding down. The question winding down. Remember to call us. It's 844-994-6655. 844-994-6655 to schedule a consult. Honestly, love working with you guys. And I did answer your question to Polly. Hopefully you heard it. User 94220978. You should expect it in anywhere from 8 to 12 months. Okay? All right, guys. I'm out of here. It's great to see you. Everybody stay safe out there. Bye. So